onto the suit of wands. Now, there is a debate with two suits, and this gets into the elemental side of it because every suit is connected to the elements. Of course, cups is water. And depending on if you look at the people that believe that the elements are connected to the tarot, and very much they are, they connect the wand and swords with wands and swords. There's an old debate on whether a sword or a wand is an air element or a fire element. Same thing with switching up the wands. So you will have to look at your principles there of where you see this at. I teach it as both. It is either a fire element or an air element. Okay. You will also see this card listed, the wand listed as the torch or the stave. They're all the same. The meanings are going to be the same. It's just the imagery may be different. So with the Ace of Wands, we have a new idea, a new fresh look at something, a new movement, a new balance of something. We have the new focus of everything. We also have the viewpoint of everything is different and new. This is that, oh my God, I need to go do this. As we see in both decks, the idea or the wand is appearing up out of nowhere. Of course, on the Gilded, we have Jupiter with his expansion and greatness. And on the Ace of Wands, we have that magical hand appearing out of nowhere with a new idea for you. This is when you're in the shower, thinking about your day, and you get a new idea on how you want to do things or where you want things to be at. Moving forward into the Two of Wands, we have that path choice. Are you going to go this way or that way with the idea, with the knowledge? If we look at the Rider-Waite Two of Wands, we have that new balance, that new belief, that new view. He's looking out over his kingdom, holding one wand, having another one mounted there, and he's trying to figure out, with the world in his hands, what else is within my realm. On the Gilded, we have the Traveling Fool walking up a path, and now he's got to make a choice. Which way does he go? Does he take the one path that goes to the left, or does he take the one path that goes to the right? When we look a little further into the image, we see that both paths link up, except one path takes him to the mountains, the other path takes him probably somewhere else, into a plane or something. He doesn't know. This is about choosing which direction you take an idea. Which way do you take knowledge? Do you take trade school or do you take college? Moving into the Three of Wands, we see a more echoing of this. But now you've made your choice. You've gone along the way. You have looking out overneath a new force, a new path in both. This one is about knowing where you've been. It's about having that built up knowledge. It is, the traveler is used to travel. In both, we see ships. Ships are about commerce, about movement, about building up of things. They are also about emotions. We all get excited with the minutes of travel. When you look at the Three of Wands, I want you to remember that this is a more intense view. You have control of your ideas. Now you're beginning to put them into action. And check in here, because there's another connection to the Three of Wands that I want to bring up. And I've got to refer to my notes here. Exploring, foresight, leadership is the other one. You are control, you're leading the pack. Sometimes when you're looking at the leadership, it's hard to see it, but it may be as simple as you're the one who needs to make the call. Do you take the ship? Are you, where's that ship going to head out to? All right. There we go. Okay, so moving on to the Four of Wands, we have home and family. The Four of Wands is about having the four pillars in your life. Both we see celebration in. One of them is very much home and comfort. Having that knowledge that you are where you are. And the other one, we see more of a town celebration. This is holidays, this is joy, this is passion. Um, so when you look at that, it's celebration, it's freedom, it's excitement, it's rejoicing over happy events, seeking freedom and finding the excitement in it. Five of Wands. Now, a lot of people there's two meanings for the Five of Wands. The first one is disagreements, conflict, hassle. The other one is play. This will pop up when there is a group of problems or a group of, and think of it as having five boys playing out in the backyard. There's going to be a scuffle. That's the severity of the 501s here. It's a contradiction of ideas. And it's realizing that, you wake up, you stump your toe, you get in the shower, you find there's no soap, you go to have breakfast, and the juice spills on your shirt. This is continual buildup of problems, aggravations, not earthquaking. Moving ahead, we have the Six of Wands, and this is where we see another principle there. This is about the return. I call this card the Prodigal Son. This is about triumph, accomplishments, and pride. Um, feeling the pride of what you've done, where you've been to, you're done with your travels, but it also reflects the prodigal son or the returning soldier. For those familiar with the prodigal son, he comes home in triumph, and everyone is just and that's what's occurring here. A modern version of this should be a soldier coming home in the ticker tape parade that was given for them in the 20s. Okay, so we move into the Seven of Wands, and with the Seven of Wands, we have aggression, defensiveness, conviction. You are going to take on these obstacles all by yourself. In the traditional Rider-Waite, we see the staves coming at you and you knocking them down. In the Seven of Wands, you're standing in the way of them leaving or entering into an area you don't want them to be in. This is very much defense. You have problems, you need to defend yourself. You feel like you've got to speak up. Showing aggression or conviction about something. Being aggressive. Very much like, no, this is how it is and this is what's going to be. Okay. All right. Then we move on to the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is new ideas. It's in a bounty of ideas. This is when you really need your notepad to write down everything going on. It's about quick actions, finding conclusions, news or messages coming your way. This may be watching a YouTube video and learning something. This may also be getting news from a friend. And it's about taking actions on what you know. One of the stories is about Moses laying his staff into the water to separate the water, to give passage. That's what this is about, is creating something new, revealing new, receiving, it's a messenger card. Moving on to the Nine of Wands. This is about giving up. This card, as you see, they've been through battle, they've surrendered, They're holding their, sometimes they may be feeling left out, overtrodden, there you go, perceived stamina. But sometimes this card, as you see in the Gilded Ones, is about just going, I am done. I have left things alone. I'm giving this away. I'm giving these ideas away. I'm going to be done with this. And also possibly being left behind, because as we see in the with the Rider-Waite deck, he's been through battle. Both of them look as if they've been through battle, but the Rider-Waite deck has him wounded. So he's had to go, definitely tough times and tough measures. Now, the Ten of Wands is probably the card that I see pop up the most in life and in readings, and that is the card of burden. They've took on too much. As you see, they are carrying, overthinking, overextended themselves. They've got burdens. They're struggling to hold on. Both people in the Ten of Wands, both the Rider-Waite and the Gilded, are trying to carry 10 swords at one time. And it's just like they are trying to be Superman, Superwoman, and it is not working. And when that happens, you have to look at, okay, what do I get off my plate? Moving ahead, we go to the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is about creativity, enthusiasm, having confidence or courage, being creative, that with a novel approach, emphasis about jumping into the whole heart of things, having a conviction to take on things tactfully, and being interested in risk. As we see, he's an explorer in the Rider-Waite deck. He's going to go see what's over on that mountain. When we look at the Gilded, he's leaving the palace with his wand to go see what's outside his barrier there with the sword, with the fence, what's beyond the palace gates. I'm sure in the Disney Tarot deck, this is probably Jasmine wondering what's on the other side of the mountains. But this is very much that youthful expression when someone, let's say an 8-year-old learns something new. They want to learn everything about it. If you talk to an 8-year-old about cars or Barbies, they have the full story. They know everything about it. That is the energy of the Page of Wands. All right. So then we move into looking at the Knight of Wands. He has an idea and he is rushing off about it. He's done the exploration. He's ready to champion off with this, and this is the new way. This is the new way of social media. This is the new way of creating something. And we see that in both sets. One is a little bit more active, and that is the Rider-Waite deck with the 3 pyramids of Giza behind him, and he has got the knowledge and he is taking it back from the Crusades. The other is the Gilded deck catches the Knight of Wands when he has returned to England, and he has brought the knowledge of the East with him. If you look at the coloring, if this card appears up for somebody, they're most likely going to be red-haired or that really burnt auburn-haired. They're going to be very much about, did you hear the news about this and this and this? They're going to be an overthinker. They're going to, have learned all the lessons of the wands from choosing their destination to, choosing a path. They may even take on things too much for themselves. Okay, moving on to the Queen of Wands. Now, looking at the Queen of Wands, she is Earth Mama. You ever meet that person that is just like they have, they grow everything. They've got all the kids come to their house because they make fresh homemade cookies every day. She is the Earth Mama. She is the collector. She is also the educator. Looking at both, we see very much wisdom going on here. Looking at the Queen of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck, we have the Sunflower, which is showing a bright new tomorrow. We have a Black Cat, which for a lot of people, not commonly today, they believe that the Black Cat was a sign that she may have been a witch or she has some hidden knowledge. Because if you look around her, one side of her plane of existence is very white. The other side is very much flourishing and growth. Of course, this is yellow energy, so of course she's got sun power to her. She's sitting on a royal throne of France, so this is about the growth and the ability of it. When we look at the gilded version, we see that passion, that knowledge, that teacher side. She looks very much like a teacher. Again, there's symbolism there of balance, but it's that fire in the head energy of the pillar of knowledge there that you will want to pay attention to. Then we move on to the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands can be very much the Aries, Mars energy that it is. He is very much, here it is, this is the way I'm doing this. He is not the tyrant that we will look at here in a little bit, but he's more the knowledge one. This is also called the King Solomon card. For those that are familiar with the biblical story, King Solomon would make wise choices and wise decisions. He's going to be someone that's more knowledge-based, going to be thinking things out. Of course, you will have either red or auburn hair as you look at the coloring of the hair color, but he's very much a thinker, a scholar, and very much planning and figuring things out in both cards. So with that, we end the suit of wands. Let's talk about